Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we're taking a cheeky look at Polkadot and specifically the flash crash. So Chris, this is talking all about the flash crash that happened with Polkadot, and we're going to get into that and see what was going on, and yeah, just see how bad it actually was. And of course, if you find this useful, informative, maybe even a little entertaining, go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you are new to the channel by chance, you've just stumbled across us, then definitely do consider subscribing. Yeah, you know, why not? It's free, and you'll be kept up to date with all of the various different pieces of crypto news that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And we'd just love to have you here as one of our subscribers, an ever-growing Cheeky Crypto community. Right, Chris, with that said and done, shall we jump over to the desktop and take a look at this, this flash crash and see what's going on?
Yeah, let's do that, Nick. Let's take a look at it. This is a fantastic project. So, you know, I'm pretty sure it's going to bounce back immediately.
It did. But let's talk about it. So Binance pledges new controls after a 99% flash crash in Polkadot futures. So a large sell order appeared to have sent prices for trading contracts on Polkadot tumbling from above $33 to 25 cents in less than a minute. I mean, they definitely need to get some controls on that, that's for certain. But Binance, one of the world's largest or biggest cryptocurrency exchanges, said it would consider new marketplace controls after a single large order apparently triggered a flash crash in early Friday on the dot trading contracts. So prices for the quarterly perpetual futures contract on Polkadot were trading at around $33.25, right around 1:45 coordinated universal time, right? So this is approximately 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. Then suddenly they tumbled, Chris, 99.2%. The contracts fell as low as 25 cents in less than a minute before quickly bouncing back to around $33. In just a single minute, some $18 million worth of contracts changed hands on the exchange. And yeah, if someone was orchestrating that, they did a good job at executing it. But man, that's scary to think about. A user who held a large position put a single stop order in the market, which triggered this needle. A Binance representative told CoinDesk in an email it didn't affect any other users' positions, as we all using marked prices for liquidations. So we will add more controls to stop market order size limits to prevent a similar occurrence, the representative added. So the solution is to limit the size of your limits. I mean, it's just like you can't have that much and put a limit. Anyway, nonetheless, let's continue. The futures market flash crashed. The cryptocurrency held steady for near $33 USDT in the stop market. Binance data shows these coin margined futures are products margined and priced using a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin instead of the dollar fiat. So a stop market order is used to buy or sell a stock at market price once the user decided to stop price is hit. Okay, so in this case, a user was holding a large position that executed the total available bids in the market, according to the Binance representative. Polkadot is a blockchain network that supports various interconnected sub-blockchains called parachains, designed to provide a higher transaction throughput than the leading Ethereum network. And we don't call it a leading Ethereum network on this channel, do we?
No, we definitely don't.
We don't.
Not a chance.
No, this is the AOL scenario. You know, may have been first to market, but it never ends well. But anyway, this is not about Ethereum. The Polkadot network's dots, the dot token is one of this year's hottest cryptocurrencies, quadrupling in price already in 2021 for a market value of more than $30 billion. The Wall Street firms Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and UBS are even reportedly trading exchange-traded products linked to DOT on a Swiss exchange. So really interesting stuff. Obviously, you can see the needle here in the way that just plummets right the way down. And to think that a single person has the ability to do that is interesting in itself. But the idea of just putting a limit on what people can limit, it just seems a bit of nonsense. I get it, but the whole thing, to be honest, just seems a bit daft. Which is why I don't really get involved with the futures. Do you do much with the futures, Chris?
No, and I don't, pretty much because of situations like this. I mean, this isn't the first, and I'm telling you now, it certainly won't be the last. No matter what measures Binance put in place, there will be people getting burned on other platforms, right? And for me, I get why people do it. There's lots of money to be made, but we're not really traders here. We're investors that look for long-term investments. If they just happen to bloom a little bit earlier, well, that's a Brucey bonus, right?
Absolutely. But let's take a little look, Chris, a cheeky look, if you will, at the Polkadot chart here. So this is Polkadot to USD on the daily. We have a Fibonacci retracement from our low levels down here on the 23rd of December. We have the high level when we rallied up nicely on the 20th of February, and we can see the retracements happening now. Admittedly, they're not overly impressive retracements, to be fair, because we look at the rallies that we've had up here. We can see some key areas that were hit, but we haven't had anything major actually hit. We haven't even really gone down as low as the 618 Fibonacci area. So things are actually looking quite healthy here on the Polkadot chart. And we can see the volumes here are quite significant. We can see them bouncing around all over the place. And most recently, they've actually come down quite nicely. The last couple of days have actually been increasing on volume, but the bigger macro view here is that it's a decrease in volume on the daily. Now, obviously, we were overbought when we were rallying up to the upside, and that is no longer the case. We're actually coming quite down lower on this RSI, which is actually a good sign, believe it or not, because we're correcting this RSI quite nicely on the RSI on this daily chart without doing too much damage to the price, which is ultimately what you want. You want to get this RSI as low as we can, towards that 30, somewhere in the 40 to 30 zone is ideal, and then we can bounce up to the upside and have lots of room before we become overbought again. Specifically, as we're talking about a bull cycle, that's kind of what you want to do. You want to rinse and repeat, a calling off or a healthy correction that corrects not only your volumes but also your RSI to make sure that everything is lining up nicely for the next position. And that's what we're kind of halfway through here, Chris. These volumes are nice and low, have a little bit of work to get a little bit lower. We want to be in this kind of volume range. So we've got the volumes have to come down a little bit more. The RSI needs to come down towards that 40 zone. And once those two things happen, we're going to be positioned nicely to start going after some new high levels. Now, if I pull this down, Chris, into that 4-hourly view, it's going to show much of the same. We can see obviously the rally to the upside, the corrections that we're having here. We can see the volume is nicely kind of bouncing around, but also decreasing, right? And the decreasing volume is key to driving things further forward. And in terms of the RSI, we're actually doing some pretty good work on correcting it. It's actually now below the 40 on the 4-hour chart. So it won't be long before we start bouncing this back up to the upside. So some good volumes stabilizing here, and the RSI nice and low. We could start seeing this thing pop back to the upside in no time at all. And if I go ahead and pull this into that 1-hourly view, it shows us again that little bit more detail. We can see how the volumes are actually starting to flatten out here on this hourly chart. So not too impressive, but actually that's kind of what you want to see. We can also see that we're briefly oversold on this hour chart, which means there's only one direction left to go, Chris. That means that we're going to be going to the upside now. Specifically, in a short term, so we won't go too high on this hourly chart. We need the daily chart to be the most bullish signal for us. On this hourly chart, if you're a trader, then this is the point where you're thinking, now's the time to get in here because we're going to start really changing things up. And as we can see, the RSI switches to a more bullish sentiment as it starts to increase on the RSI indicator, and the MACD is about to cross as well. So MACD and the RSI, the MACD only ever follows the RSI, and everything's gearing up quite nicely. Volume's nice and stable, the RSI is nice and low, MACD is about to cross, and we've found the bottom here. We're going to start bouncing from this position. So ultimately, Chris, on this hourly chart, we're going to see immediate green candles, probably targeting up here towards that 35.35, so $35.35 from the current position of 32.86. That's most likely going to happen imminently. That is going to get us quite high on this RSI again. The volume's not going to be needed too much here. If we pull this back up to that daily view, with all this being said, that's going to be allowing us to trade sideways a little bit here, just within the hourly charts. The 4 hourly charts are quite nice, but we also need to get this RSI a little bit lower, head towards 40 on the daily. The volumes on this chart as well are looking like they're getting stable on the hourly and the 4 hourly. So we could start to position ourselves quite nicely on the daily chart to really start taking out some of those decent price predictions. Speaking of which, Chris, let's take a look at those. So the first price prediction and the first price target that we have here for the Polkadot is $65, okay? So $65 is the immediate price target that we're going to get once we breach this other high level here. This was what happened on the 20th of February, Chris. So once we get past that $41.98, we're going to be going immediately after $65. So that's looking incredibly lucrative right now. Specifically, since the RSI is getting nice and corrected on the hourly, the 4 hourly, the daily is not going to be too far behind that. The volumes are looking good. I think it's only a matter of days, maybe even just a week, Chris, before this thing really starts popping to the upside again. But after $65, we have a $102 target, followed by $139 and $162. So really bullish to see how these things play out, Chris. But the chart for Polkadot is looking very, very tasty indeed. Anything else you would like to add on leave with the guys?
Just a solid project, Nick. We don't, again, we've covered it a little bit in the live stream. We don't cover some of these projects enough. That's mainly because, you know, we need people to interact with the videos, right? So if you liked the Polkadot video that we've done, give us a like, tell us what you liked about it, and if you didn't like it, tell us what you didn't like about it, right? So we can make improvements to the content that we put out. I think with that said, Nick, probably brings everything to a close.
Fantastic. So guys, if you have found it useful, informative, maybe entertaining, go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. By subscribing, you're going to be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all this said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.